Path of Exile 2 Early Access is almost upon us, my friends, and as opposed to the popular belief, I am very much looking forward to the start of the game and to covering it for you and producing more guides. Brawl Stars is not the only game I play these days. I will tell you why and why not I will play or not play a certain class. How about that? Give the video a quick like if you are my Path of Exile person. Monks. Well, monks are in Path of Exile 2 designed as a class that works on building up momentum and maintaining that momentum in the fight, dashing in and out of the fight situations. It's a fast-paced melee kind of class. Monk offers quite a fast-paced gameplay and looks like has a very high skill potential. Like it looks like you can be very happy with it if you like that kind of very busy kind of keyboard busy gameplay, but I do not think that Monk is going to be for me, so that I'm gonna tell you straight away. Now, if you want to hit harder and move a little bit slower, and have a little bit more versatility in your build, by the looks of it at the very least, Warrior might be for you and for me as well. Heavier relies on war cries, very classic Path of Exile Warrior implementation, can have either two-handers or one-handers or one-hander and a shield. Really cool to see that Grinding Gear Games is adding a functionality that allows you to block all attacks coming from the front, even spells, but you will run out of basically stun threshold, and then you'll start taking damage. Otherwise it would be a cheat, kind of you wouldn't be able to kill a warrior. But warriors are also reliant on totems. It's good to see that they're showing a little bit of totemic play with the warrior, which is why I can tell you warrior is my top 3, and I will tell you the exact order of my play in a minute. Ranger is a third class, revealed at least, one of the 6 classes available in the early access from December the 6th. Bow based, combines the usual elemental kind of charged shots, lightning, poison, physical, ice. We can freeze, we can shoot, we can freeze, we can break, we can do the usual kind of stuff. I assume that usual bow skills would be applying to Ranger, including stuff like ballistas, even though explicitly they only talked about ballistas being available to the mercenary, who we'll talk about next. But I'm pretty sure Ranger would be able to use that. Honorable mention here is that I'm actually, so the Deadeye, the classic Ascendancy, is available in the early access. Cool. That's like a straight down the line bow-based Ranger, and Pathfinder is available as well. I know Pathfinder, a lot of people love Pathfinder from Path of Exile 1, so do I. Not a massive specialist, not a massive expert on Pathfinders, but my eyes are on that a little bit, even though it's not the top of my pick. Mercenary, a new class, crossbow-based, WASD controlled, so you can control mercenary almost like you would control some kind of shooter game type of stuff, and they spoke about this as well. Very appealing to me, really cool, looks fast-paced, looks similar to Ranger, I would argue. Like, tell me in the comments down below if it doesn't look similar to you. It looks similar to me, but different enough for me to quite openly tell you, being not so much interested in Ranger right now, at least not the first thing, but I'm very interested in the mercenary. Absolutely very interested in the mercenary. Elemental ammo, ballistas are shown that mercenary can use. Couple of very different jobs that they can do. I love that they call them jobs rather than ascendancies, because it's a mercenary. You choose a job, right? And then you go and do a job. First ascendancy for the mercenary is Witch Hunter, where you are particularly geared to defend against elemental attacks and whatever witch might do to you, yeah, as opposed to physical attacks. Cool. And a few other cool things there. And then also an ascendancy of Gemling Legionnaire, who have decided to augment their bodies and allow themselves to put gems into the body. Yucky, yeah? However, comes with extra skill slots, comes with extra resistances, and at some point, if you choose to specialize that way, you as Gemling Legionnaire would be able to use any color gem in specific slots or whatever. Cool. Very cool, alright? Witch. How can we not come to Witch at some point? Obvious summoner, very summoner based play in this case. I think before which was not necessarily kind of summoner first and everything else second. And in this case, at least from the game director's presentation, I got a feeling that summoner first, which works for me because I love my summoners, as you know from my channel. Some older Path of Exile guides, I have so many summoner kind of builds, even though my most popular Path of Exile builds, funnily enough, are Elementalist Witch with Arc Witch electric based thing. Go figure. The community works in mysterious ways and I welcome your input, okay? But Summoner looks tremendously interesting to me, tremendously interesting. Both from the perspective of that we have now the Spirit as the new kind of energy, so to speak, as the new thing to spend on summoning your minions. So items will come with Spirit on them. Your preferred and my preferred weapon of choice is going to be, by the looks of it, a scepter, because scepters have special kind of looks like from game director's presentation. Looks like they are geared to have a lot of spirit on them, and we want as much spirit as possible to have as many summons and as more powerful summons as possible. Cool as well. Also in this presentation that I'm kind of using here as a background footage, at some point it was shown that one of my favorite builds, Summon Raging Spirits, is now working slightly differently, and it's still cool. Basically, the Summon Raging Spirits is going to be summoning the swarm of those spirits whenever you do fire damage. Cool, very, very cool. Can't wait to try this, okay? And very good, very interesting two Ascendancies, okay? Infernalist will give you an extra summon. Great. Like summoning a Hellhound. And then a whole bunch of other abilities that are going to allow us to do extra fire damage while we're doing our own dirty work. That's fantastic. Or we can be a Blood Mage. Blood Mage sounds very, very cool and very potentially powerful, but completely different gameplay. Costing life and mana to cast spells, however, has a potential much larger replenishment of life from variety of sources, because the enemies will drop also life orbs or whatever to replenish our life simply because we will have to have large pools of life, yeah, hence harder to kill potentially, yeah, or use that life when safe to dish out devastating attacks. Cool as well, very, very interesting. And finally, Sorceress. We have the classic spellcaster, not much to say there, everything you can expect, rains of fire, blizzards, storms, whatever you want, combination of elemental skills. Now, here is my plan as promised. My plan is to go Witch first. Witch is going to be my first character, and I'm going to go with the Infernalist, obviously. Infernalist Witch Summoner. It is going to be a variation of Summon Raging Spirits based build. It remains to be seen. I haven't done much research, but I don't do it on purpose, because for me the game is about exploration and rather than having everything found out way before the game. I think this kind of check-in is okay, and me watching these videos is okay, but I am not studying pedantically every potential speculative build that might be out there, okay, by now. So you will find out what I'll find out about my game, and I'll produce my guides, as always, unpretentiously, but for what it's worth, to my crowd, as I explore the game. So, which goes first? Infernalist Witch goes first. Second choice is going to be the Witch Hunter Mercenary for me. Witch Hunter Mercenary sounds great. Witch Hunter remains to be seen how useful it will be, but there is extra damage against bosses, there are skills that have a chance to do 30% of damage if you're lucky, and generally the playstyle of this WASD controlled shooter style mercenary really appeals to me. Plus it's something new, it's something different, and you know, I like change and I like difference, yeah? And finally, I'm actually very interested in the Warbringer Warrior. And I probably am going to base my playstyle and see how I can produce a build that will be very dedicated to totems. I want to go totemic way. They are obviously not giving us all classes yet in the early access, which is cool, but there is still plenty to sink our teeth into, and we are obviously not seeing Templar, we're not seeing Hierophant, we're not seeing a whole bunch of things that would be maybe even more mainstream totem builds. However, I suspect that this kind of Tukohama build style of warrior that is going to be heavy on totems and let the totems do your dirty work, that's kind of how I like to play. I like to play with minions and I like to play with totems. Now, that's it. Please let me know in the comments down below, first of all, if you're still in my community as a Path of Exile fan, and if you are looking forward to connecting like this, sharing your build with me, I very much welcome. And because some of you may have a handful, hopefully, have watched this long into the video, as a little preview slash let's lift the veil a little bit, I can tell you that I'll be welcoming also and featuring builds that you suggest to me. Preferably your own builds as opposed to go check Zizaran's build. I can do it myself. But if you use a specific build and you can let me know in the comments, hey, Gyro, go check this out and maybe showcase and make me famous to your crowd, I would be very, very happy to do that. So those videos are also coming. Let me know in the comments down below. Let's build up the momentum. Let's have some fun with Path of Exile when it launches. And in the meantime, play whatever you're playing. I play Brawl Stars, but I'll be in Path of Exile on day 1 of the early access, December the 6th. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this, especially if you're still watching me into a 10+ minute video. I really appreciate you. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Goodbye for now.